Okay, so today, class, we're going to be learning about qualitative and quantitative observations. So, what are observations in the first place? For a little review, observations are pieces of information gathered by noticing things about an object. It's something we do every day when we look at things. Now, observations are a really big part of science. Observations help scientists learn about the natural world by noticing things that we may not have noticed before. And analyzing these new observations can lead to new discoveries. Now, observations can come in two different types. Those are qualitative and quantitative observations. So, what does it mean for observations to be qualitative or quantitative? Has anyone heard these words before? No? Well, we can look at the words. First look at these words. We see that qualitative, that little underlined portion, doesn't it look like the word quality? And for quantitative, it looks like that underlined portion looks like quantities, right? Let's look a little bit more about the differences in the next slides. So, qualitative observations are descriptive observations. They are observations that we make that are usually put forth in words. We use words to describe the object. And usually a lot of these observations come from our five senses, which is, hearing, smell, sight, touch, and taste. So I have my examples here. It could be the color of something. It could be its texture, how it feels, how it sounds, how it smells. So like an example would be if I saw a leaf and I say this leaf is green. That is a qualitative observation because I'm using words in my observation. The leaf is green. I'm using the color green to describe it. Now, quantitative observations are measured observations, and usually we have numbers associated with them. So how do we get these numbers? So we get these numbers because these are measured observations, which means we use scientific instruments to measure them. For example, rulers, we use rulers to measure length, height in like inches or feet. And we could also use instruments like thermometers to measure the temperature in like Celsius or Fahrenheit, whichever one you like. So an example could be like, let's say weight. I say like this rock weighs 2 pounds. That is a qualitative observation because we see we have the number 2 in there. It's 2 pounds. So let's try an example. We have this cute little cat right here. What are some qualitative observations about the cat? Yes?
It's gray.
It's gray. That's a good qualitative observation. We use the word gray to describe the cat.
It has 2 legs.
It has 2 legs? Not yet. You're kind of jumping the gun here. You see, when you say the cat has 2 legs, do you see that there's a number in there? That means that it's a quantitative observation. So a qualitative cat, remember, we use words. So like you could think about what color is the cat, or how would the cat feel if you touched it? So what are some quantitative observations about the cat? Like, as you said before, the cat does have 2 legs. So are there any other quantitative things? Let's add some measurements. So who could give me a quantitative observation?
The cat weighs 5 pounds.
That's great. It weighs 5 pounds. That's a number, right? So again, you have to think. How tall is, you could think how tall the cat is. Yes?
It says it's 1 foot.
That's great, yeah. The cat is 1 foot tall. That is a quantitative because it has a number and we're measuring it, right? So how can we remember the difference between quantitative and qualitative observations? So I have a little chant for you guys, and it would really help me out if you could all participate with me. So we have qualitative quality. Sense is what you see. because we have the word quality and qualitative, and you use your five senses for, right? So you see what you see, right? It rhymes. And quantitative quantities measure like degrees, right? Degrees rhyme with quantities, and you use measurements and numbers in quantitative. So together we have qualitative quality, senses like we see. Quantitative quantities measure like degrees. So would you like to try it with me now?
Yes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Qualitative
quality, sense is what you see.
Quantitative quantities measure like degrees.
Yay, that's great, guys. So now we know the difference between qualitative and quantitative observations.